Oh my gosh, that is the last box of cereal! I need it for the stickers!
Ice Bear will get it.
The bright morning sun had barely climbed over the green hills when chaos erupted in the peaceful forest, and within moments, laughter turned into fear. What began as an ordinary day for three lovable bear brothers became the most unforgettable adventure of their lives. A tiny mistake, a strange invention, and one unbelievable chain of events sent Grizz, Panda, and Ice Bear tumbling into a series of hilarious disasters that tested not only their courage but also the unbreakable bond they shared. Sometimes the funniest moments are born from the biggest problems, and sometimes the greatest heroes are simply those who refuse to leave their family behind when everything falls apart. Before we continue this heartwarming adventure, if you believe that kindness, friendship, and second chances can change lives, please take a moment to like this video, share it with your friends, leave a comment, and subscribe to Single Dad Empire. Your support helps bring more emotional stories like this to everyone around the world. The forest looked unusually beautiful that morning. Warm sunlight filtered through the towering trees while colorful birds danced across the clear blue sky. Everything seemed peaceful until Grizz discovered an odd-looking gadget lying beside a hiking trail. It looked like an old remote control with glowing buttons and a tiny blinking light. Curious as always, Grizz believed it must have been someone's forgotten toy. Panda felt nervous the moment he saw it, while Ice Bear silently observed every detail before carefully picking it up. Although it seemed harmless, none of them realized that the mysterious object had been created by an eccentric inventor who loved designing machines capable of causing ridiculous surprises rather than solving problems. The moment Grizz pressed the largest red button, the peaceful forest transformed into complete madness. Trees began spinning in circles as though they were dancing. Squirrels suddenly floated through the air instead of running across branches. The brothers watched in complete disbelief while rocks bounced like rubber balls and streams flowed backward uphill. Panda covered his eyes, convinced they had somehow entered another world, while Grizz burst into uncontrollable laughter despite the growing danger around them. Ice Bear calmly examined the remote and realized every button triggered another impossible event. Unfortunately, before he could stop Grizz, several more buttons had already been pressed. The forest soon became one giant playground of unpredictable chaos. Gigantic bubbles floated between the trees, carrying woodland animals high above the ground before gently dropping them into soft bushes. Rabbits suddenly developed incredibly long ears that tangled around tree trunks. Birds sang backward, while flowers bloomed in impossible colors that changed every few seconds. Even the clouds seemed to giggle as they twisted into funny animal shapes across the bright daytime sky. Every new surprise made Grizz laugh harder, but Panda grew increasingly worried because the strange events showed no signs of ending. As they searched for a way to fix the growing disaster, they discovered frightened animals hiding throughout the forest. Tiny hedgehogs struggled to walk because their feet floated a few inches above the ground. A family of ducks became trapped inside enormous soap bubbles drifting toward the mountain cliffs. Little fox cubs cried as invisible pathways caused them to walk in circles no matter which direction they chose. Although many of these situations looked funny from a distance, the brothers quickly realized the chaos was frightening every creature living in the forest. Without hesitation, the three bears forgot about their own fears and began helping everyone they could. Grizz climbed towering trees to rescue floating squirrels. Panda carefully guided frightened rabbits away from dangerous areas despite his own nervousness. Ice Bear quietly solved one strange problem after another with incredible patience, using logic where everyone else relied on panic. They worked together from sunrise toward midday, never stopping even as the magical disasters continued multiplying around them. Hours passed beneath the warm sunshine, and exhaustion slowly replaced excitement. Every solution created two brand new problems. Whenever they rescued one group of animals, another impossible event appeared somewhere else. A giant mushroom suddenly bounced across the forest carrying confused raccoons on its enormous cap. Rivers filled with harmless but incredibly slippery jelly, making rescue attempts even more difficult. Panda nearly gave up several times, believing the forest would never return to normal. Yet each time he looked at his brothers continuing without complaint, he found enough courage to keep moving forward. Deep inside the forest they finally discovered the source of the strange disturbances. Hidden beneath ancient trees stood a forgotten laboratory covered in vines and wildflowers. Strange machines buzzed softly inside while colorful lights flashed from every corner. At the center of the room rested a large crystal connected to dozens of wires. Every button pressed on the mysterious remote had overloaded the crystal, sending waves of magical energy throughout the forest. Unless the machine could be safely stopped, the entire woodland would remain trapped inside endless ridiculous accidents. Fixing the machine proved far more difficult than finding it. The instruction book had been soaked by rain years earlier, leaving only scattered pages with confusing drawings. Ice Bear carefully studied every remaining symbol while Grizz searched for missing pieces around the laboratory. Panda organized scattered tools despite trembling hands. For the first time that day, none of them laughed. They understood that every minute wasted meant more frightened animals and more damage spreading through the forest they loved. Just when hope seemed to fade, something remarkable happened. The very animals the brothers had rescued earlier returned to help them. Birds retrieved missing pages from treetops. Clever squirrels collected tiny screws hidden beneath leaves. Beavers repaired broken wooden supports inside the laboratory. Even timid rabbits bravely carried important tools across dangerous areas. The kindness the bears had shown throughout the day returned to them in the most unexpected way. Every creature contributed something small, and together those tiny efforts became something truly powerful. Working side by side beneath the bright afternoon sunlight, the entire forest slowly rebuilt the damaged invention. Ice Bear finally understood how to reverse the energy flow. Grizz carefully held heavy equipment in place while Panda pressed the correct sequence of buttons exactly as shown in the repaired instructions. For several tense seconds, nothing happened. Then the glowing crystal gradually dimmed. The spinning trees slowed to a stop. Floating animals gently returned to the ground. Rivers flowed normally once again. The strange colors disappeared from the flowers, replaced by their natural beauty. One peaceful breeze swept across the forest as though nature itself sighed with relief. Silence filled the woodland before joyful cheers erupted from every direction. Birds soared happily through the clear sky. Squirrels raced across branches once again. Little fox cubs finally found their families. The forest that had been consumed by unbelievable chaos only hours earlier now seemed even more beautiful than before. Grizz looked around with a grateful smile, Panda wiped tears of relief from his eyes, and Ice Bear quietly admired the peaceful landscape without expecting any praise. As the sun slowly moved across the afternoon sky, the brothers realized something important. Their funniest day had also become one of their hardest. Every silly accident had taught them that laughter becomes even more meaningful when it is shared with kindness, responsibility, and love. They had made mistakes, but instead of running away from the consequences, they stayed and fixed every problem together. That choice made all the difference. If this story touched your heart and reminded you that true friendship means standing together through both laughter and challenges, please like this video, share it with someone who needs a smile today, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Single Dad Empire for more emotional and inspiring stories. Special request: comment below and tell us which funny moment made you smile the most and what lesson you learned from the three bear brothers today. As evening approached, golden sunlight painted the forest with warm colors, and the three brothers quietly walked home along the familiar trail. They carried no trophies, won no grand awards, and expected no recognition. Their greatest reward was seeing every animal safe, every tree standing peacefully, and every heart filled with hope once again. The strange remote was carefully locked away where it could never cause trouble again, but the memories of that extraordinary daytime adventure remained forever. Whenever anyone in the forest remembered the wild and wacky day when everything turned upside down, they smiled, not because of the chaos itself, but because three caring brothers proved that even the funniest disasters can become beautiful stories when faced with courage, compassion, and an unbreakable family bond.